The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar for the 2015 cohort of ATD colleges. We are so glad you've joined us. This is Mary Harrell with ATD. I met many of you at Kickoff. With me, joining me, I have Julia Lawton, Allison Ray Akalanu, and Laurie Haycock. All of us were at Kickoff, and we're just thrilled to be back with you this afternoon. We thoroughly enjoyed our time with you, and we're looking forward to spending a little bit of time with you this afternoon to touch base on how things have been going for your colleges since the Kickoff. All of you had a chance to meet with your coaches, and I know many of you have already planned your site visits, your first site visits with your coaches. So we wanted to just touch base with you to talk a little bit about what we heard at Kickoff from you, talk about the feedback that we received and what we'll be doing as follow-up. And we'll be going through a couple of resources that we have for you as you move forward with your coaches and working during this first year on your student success work. And we'll also provide just an opportunity for you to provide some updates. So we'd love to hear from you about how things are going, what's working so far during these first few months, if there's challenges, and maybe there'll be other colleges who are on the call who might want to respond and might have some ideas to how to help you address some of the challenges you might be encountering as well. So this is really just a touch-base opportunity. One of the things we heard from our colleges last year during Kickoff is that they wanted more opportunities to talk to each other throughout the year. So we're making a point this year that during the first year we're going to have a couple of these touch points through the webinar. We're going to meet at Dream as well, just so that you all can work together as you're experiencing this first year. I know many of you will have sort of common challenges, and I think it's always good for peer learning to hear from each other, and we'll be bringing in as well our 2014 cohort of colleges too, who are just finished up their first year in the network as well, to talk about sort of their first year experience as well. So we'll be doing that at Dream. So in terms of sort of the next steps before we move into the agenda, I wanted to, I'm moving the slide here, here's our agenda for the day that we talked about. If you have questions or comments throughout the webinar, there is a box at the bottom on the right-hand part of your screen. You can type your questions in there and click post. When we get to the part of the agenda where we'll do college updates, we are going to unmute the line. So you can also raise your hand. You'll see on the right-hand side of your screen, you can raise your hand if you would like to say something, and we'll unmute your line. So hopefully technology will work for us today, and that will go smoothly. And if that doesn't work, we will be using the question box as well, that chat box at the end where you can write in your questions too. If you have questions or comments that are really specific to the coaching that's happening on your campus, I'm going to ask that you get in touch with us offline, and we're happy to work with you to address anything there as well. The call today is really more for general successes and challenges, and if you want to get thoughts from other colleges about how they're handling some sort of the first few months with ATD. So I'd like to now turn this over to my colleague Julia Lawton, who's going to talk a little bit about the Kickoff Institute, some of the themes we heard, and what we'll be doing next.
Yes, thank you, Mary. So again, we want to thank everyone for attending the Kickoff, but also for providing feedback on their experience with the Kickoff. The information has been very useful for us in a variety of ways, particularly as we're analyzing how to continue to improve the Kickoff for future cohorts of colleges. So I'm sure the colleges that join next year will be very grateful for those who provided feedback this year. But we're also using the feedback to identify ways to better support you guys as you go through your first year with achieving the dream. So on your screen, you can see 4 main themes from the feedback we received. Overall, everyone seemed to be pretty happy with how the Kickoff went. About 90% of respondents responded that we achieved our 3 Kickoff goals, and about 90% thought there was a good balance between interaction and presentations. Everyone seemed to enjoy the food, which is a very good thing for conferences. I know they don't tend to be well known for their food. So the second theme is that individuals wanted more structured networking time. We did provide a couple of breakfasts and lunch sessions at the kickoff for networking, but I think there was a common theme throughout the feedback that colleges wanted to be able to have a more structured setting to interact with each other. And I think this goes beyond just within the cohort as well. There was a kind of common occurrence that people wanted to hear from other ATD colleges a lot more than they did at the kickoff. So theme number 3 is that more professional development opportunities are very, very welcome. There are a variety of topics, as you can imagine, everyone being different and facing different circumstances. But the general topics were particularly focused on equity at the institution and in pedagogy, data and promising practices from other colleges, data to support interventions and whether they're successful or not, but also the colleges that have recently been through their first year in Achieving the Dream, how they did that. So what they did when they first started, or what challenges they encountered, and what advice they would give to colleges just starting in Achieving the Dream. So the final theme that we'd like to share is that colleges want more clarity on their next steps. I think there was an expectation that colleges would leave the kickoff with a set complete plan for moving forward. So we've taken a few steps recently to provide a bit more clarity on that, and hopefully today will help as well. And hopefully with discussions with your coaches as you've been moving forward since the kickoff, you've got a bit more clarity around your next steps as well. So what are we doing with this feedback? Well, as Mary mentioned at the start of this webinar, we are hoping to organize a session at DREAM 2016 in Atlanta, Georgia, for the 2014 and 2015 cohorts to get together and kind of in a structured environment network with each other and learn from each other. We are going through our annual reporting process right now with our colleges that have been in the network for at least a year. And the 2014 colleges have made some really great progress and have got some really good learnings that I think this group would really be interested in hearing. So we're going to try and identify an effective way to structure this session so that you both groups of colleges get the most out of it. We're obviously sharing some helpful resources on next steps with you on this webinar. There's a few discussion boards and different areas for interaction on ATD Connect that Mary's going to show you soon. We are adding resources to ATD Connect on any topics you want to know more about. So if you have additional topics that are not covered, please just let us know and we'll continue to add. We are at the early stages of this launch, so we're continuing to build it out over the coming weeks and months. And finally, at least for now, the cohort webinar specifically for your group of colleges will be tailored to the topics that you want to know more about. So we have some feedback from that, from the kickoff feedback. We did ask for specific topics for professional development, and so we have some idea of where to go from here. An example would be bringing in one of the 2014 colleges to talk about their first year and their experience, how they engaged faculty, what data they looked at, how they started the conversation about equity on their campus, all those different kinds of questions that have been coming up since the kickoff. So that's one example of a topic for the webinars going forward. Again, if you have any specific preferences for the topics that we should host for the webinars, then please let us know and we'll try and incorporate those into the schedule. So moving on, I think we're going to move on to the ATD Connect demo. Mary?
Great, thanks, Julia. So one of the partnerships that ATD has is with Blackboard, and they have graciously donated in-kind to us the use of Blackboard Learn and Blackboard Collaborate. And so we are using this platform, which we are calling ATD Connect, to better work with our colleges and our coaches. And we're piloting the platform with you all as the 2015 ATD cohort as a place where you can find resources both from kickoff and ongoing. As Julia mentioned, as we move through the first year, we're going to be adding resources to help support you as you design your plan, your implementation plan. And so we'll be putting everything onto Blackboard and using that as sort of the central housing for the first year in the network. And so I'm going to now move into the actual platform itself and give you, just show you what it looks like. About 2 weeks after you attended Kickoff, you should have received an email from Julia that had links to how you can access ATD Connect as well as usernames and passwords. Excuse me. And so if you need those resources again, just let us know. We'll resend those out to you. I'm going to log on as myself here, and we're going to move into the actual platform.
While she's doing that, I will just mention that we are working on the branding of this tool at the moment. So I realize it says Blackboard, and that's, it's very malleable in how we can brand it, and we are working on that right now. Don't be alarmed if the page suddenly changes one day.
Okay. All right, so hopefully what you are seeing on your screen, and if you weren't able to see it, just send me a chat there and we'll make sure it's pulled up. But you'll see sort of the home page for the 2015 cohort here. And on this first page, many of you have probably used Blackboard on your own campuses, so hopefully this looks familiar to you, and we hope it's as usable as it can be. And you will post any important announcements right here on the home page. But probably what will be of interest to you all during these first couple months, we have a section on the Kickoff Institute. And so here we have housed all of the handouts from Kickoff, both what you used with your coaches and other handouts from the Kickoff. We have all of the presentations and the related handouts associated with those presentations on here. We have the Kickoff Institute homework, so all of you came to Kickoff having already completed the readiness assessment as well as a data exercise. So those might be tools that you want to use again as you start to engage a wider section of your faculty and staff and administrators on your campus. And so we move down here, there's a section on ATD's institutional improvement model. One of the things we previewed with you is ATD's move to focusing on 7 capacity areas within the college that we think are essential parts of really building out student-centered cultures and improving student outcomes. So what we have on here right now is an overview of that model. As we build it out, you all got a preview of the institutional capacity assessment tool, which is the tool we'll be using with colleges so that you can really think more deeply about where you are in each capacity area, your strengths and areas for improvement. So we'll be adding resources as we roll out this model with the larger network here. We have an area on the ATD Connect that really deals with the implementation plan. All of you right now are working toward developing an implementation plan around your student success priorities that you're going to focus on through Achieving the Dream. And so here you'll find pieces like the planning period work plan template. This was something you saw at Kickoff that you may want to use in these early months just to help lay out the different areas around engagement, building out your IR/IT capacity, communications, and sort of those next steps as you roll out this work on your campus. And then we have a section here for just general resources. And again, some of these you saw at Kickoff as well. The Start Right Guide, which is really the comprehensive overview of what it is to be an ATD college, the different steps that you'll be taking over the next few months and over the course of the year. A lot of resources about ATD services there. So that'll be a good resource to use with your colleagues on campus. We also have here resources around the data expectations for ATD colleges. And we've added in here this Network College Inventory. And this is a tool that you may want to use when your coaches come or in preparation with your coaches. But it's a tool that sort of lays that has you as a college sit down and really think about the student success work that you have on your campus, the different interventions and initiatives that your college has implemented on your campus, so that it really provides sort of a comprehensive overview of all of the work that you're doing, and may help as you start to organize and think about a framework for all of that. It's just a good inventory tool to use with the colleges. So this is just a technology is not agreeing with me now. I'm trying to skip over to the other side. The other piece to ATD Connect that is here is a discussion board, and we have set up some discussions for core team leaders. There's one if you're a core team leader and there's a particular, oh good, thanks Julia. So here we are. So we'll be setting up discussions here, and this is something that we will set up on our end, but it's also you'll have access to start your own discussions. So for core team leaders, there's a discussion board. If there's issues specific to being a core team leader or questions you want to ask other core team leaders in the 2015 cohort, here's where you would go to have that discussion. And so you can post here. It's going to push out to core team leaders, so you'll be aware when there's new postings on there. And again, we've started just another general one around launching ATD on the campus. And this is where you might want to go if you're facing a specific challenge. You can post something here, and others from the 2015 cohort can write back and talk about perhaps some solutions they found on their campus to address those challenges. But again, you will be able to start your own discussions here, so there may be some specific questions around building out the IR capacity or related to the data that you're collecting, and this will be a place to come and try to get feedback from the other colleges in the 2015 cohort. So this is just a quick sneak peek of the ATD Connect. And again, if you need your access to it, just be in touch with Julia or I, and we're happy to get that information out to you.
Okay, so there is another tool that Achieving the Dream has that we would like to show to you today. I think if we have enough time for it. It's called the Achieving the Dream Intervention Showcase. A lot of the time we show this at Dream and at the Kickoff. This year we didn't have as much time at the Kickoff as we usually do because we cut it down by a day compared to last year. So we are showing you the Intervention Showcase now, and I'm just going to do a short demo to show you where it is, what it is, and how you can use it and how it will be valuable to you. So just as a general overview, the Intervention Showcase is an online searchable database that illustrates what student success initiatives ATD colleges are currently working on through their Achieving the Dream effort. The tool allows you to explore data on these success interventions from across the Achieving the Dream network, including who the college is targeting, how far the intervention has been scaled, when the intervention began, and what student outcomes they are using to measure their success. You can also complete an online form to request that Achieving the Dream connects you with the correct individual at that college to exchange ideas, challenges, and find out more about those interventions. So you can find this tool on our website. It is also accessible through www.achievingthedream.org/interventions, which will take you directly to the page you can see on your screen now. So when you get to this page, if you click on the blue bar here that says click to view the Intervention Showcase, you will get a pop-up like this that is actually the Intervention Showcase. So when it's loaded, this is what it looks like. And so it's literally a huge database of the interventions that our colleges are currently doing or have planned, and we ask our colleges to update their interventions every year so that the descriptions are up to date and the progress has been updated, and any new interventions or interventions that have been stopped are also updated. And so it's organized in a couple of ways. So at the moment you can explore at the moment by intervention type, so that as you can see is based on students, institution, or faculty and staff, and within each of those 3 categories, there are various subcategories such as developmental education and first-year experience. So, for example, the Tennessee colleges are redesigning their developmental education right now. So if they wanted to go through and see what our current Achieving the Dream colleges are doing in developmental education, they could click here and access all of the interventions that are currently going on within our Achieving the Dream network to do with developmental education. So I clicked on it, and you can see down here, if my mouse works, you can see all of the various interventions that each of our colleges are doing with regard to developmental education. And so if you wanted to learn more about, for example, Atlanta's technical colleges redesign of learning support, you could click on that and then click on read the full intervention details in a new browser, and it should open it for you. There we go. And so you'll see a brief description of what is happening at the college and what the college is doing in this area. I can't seem to scroll down. Hang on one second. And then if you scroll down the page, you'll see when it started, when they last updated it, which is the reporting year, whether it's active or inactive. So if it didn't work, they'll change that to inactive. What target population they're focusing on. So this is obviously academically underprepared students. And who they're serving, so the proportion of the target population they're actually currently serving, which for this intervention is most, which means it's over 60% of their academically underprepared students. So you can do that for a variety of different topics, as I said, but you can also explore by academic discipline if you change at the top to that. So this is just another way of doing it. If you wanted to focus on English developmental education, you would click on English, and then you could go through those. I know a lot of you are doing student success and orientation courses, so there is obviously a huge chunk of our colleges already doing that work. So you can see 102 colleges are already doing this work with 244 interventions across the ATD network related to student success courses. On the side, you can filter by various different categories. So if you're looking specifically in certain region or certain state, or if you're looking for colleges that are similar size or similar demographics to you, you can also filter by that as well to make sure it's relevant to you. And as I said before, the beauty of this tool is that you can click. So if we go back to Atlanta's redesign, at the bottom of the page, you can fill out an intervention contact request form, and we will contact you and the person in charge of this intervention, and you can talk to each other about the challenges you're facing, how they overcame theirs, and just really generally get advice and network with these people. So it's a really great tool for that. Okay, so we'll go back to the presentation, and we'll try to go back to the presentation right now. Okay.
Great, thanks, Julia. So we wanted to just open the lines right now, so to hear from you and to get a sense of what might be, what's going well, or if there's challenges you're facing that you'd like advice from the group from. So you can click under the attendee list. You can raise your hand, and when I see that, I can unmute the line. Or you can also type in your question in the chat box and press submit, and we'll take your questions that way as well. All right, so let's see. Lisa, I think I'm going to unmute your line. Okay. Lisa, did you have a question for us? No? Okay. All right.
Okay, who wants to be the first college to give us an update? We have a list of colleges on here and a list of names, so we will pick you out if you don't volunteer.
Oh, hold on, I see it here. All right. Okay, Carol, I'm going to unmute your line. Hold on. Okay, Carol, you're unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is Carol Ann Lyden at Blue Ridge Community College. And just a quick update from us is we came back from the Achieving the Dream kickoff and began choosing who would be the chairs for the three main teams, the core team, the data team, and the communications team. And we have got that into place right now. And we are preparing for our coaches to come visit in the middle of September and kick off the whole Achieving the Dream initiative to the campus.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for the update. Okay. Oh, hold on. And let's see. Let me mute that line. Okay. Now, Alkita, I've unmuted your line.
Yes, so my name is Alkita Wojcik, and I'm here actually with part of the team for the Achieving the Dream and from Miracosta College. Similar to the prior speaker, we also, when we came back, finalized in terms of what our team would look like for both the data team, communication team, and the core team. We have met every Monday. The data team would meet right before the core team, and then the core team will meet right after, to really plan our next week's event, which is All College Day, in how do we introduce our Achieving the Dream to the campus community. Our coaches are also coming next week to visit, so we have been planning the schedule with the coaches and who they are meeting with, what groups they are meeting, and that's our update.
Great. Thank you so much. So good. So it sounds like everyone is working on core team leaders and planning opening convocation. Let's see, I've got Jamie. I'm unmuting your line. Jamie, can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Everyone, this is Jamie from Bergen Community College. I'm sitting in the room with a couple of my other colleagues that are on our team. Our update is that we've sent out all of our invites for our core data and communications teams, so we have quite a number on each of those. Our data team lead has already been working with our National Student Clearinghouse and some reporting things to make sure we have all of our right data being reported. Our core team has met twice so far since we've been back, and in our last meeting we started to just brainstorm some of our, what I'm calling our big bucket items. So we have 3 big bucket items at Bergen that we're thinking about starting to really delve into, which include the academic area, counseling advising area, and onboarding for our students. And then we are having we have a professional development day once in the spring and once in the fall. So in our fall day, it's being devoted to Achieving the Dream. So that'll be October 27th, and then our coaches are going to do their full day visit the following day on the 28th. And that's our update.
Great. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Sure.
Okay, let's see.
I'm very pleased with the number of colleges focusing on having a communications team. It's something that our communications department has been very eager to get started and get colleges really more focused on how they're talking to their community and what their message is.
Great. Thanks. Okay, so Chris, I'm going to unmute your line. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Chris, can you hear us? Oh, well, let's see. For some reason, it's not unmuting your line. If you says you need to enter a PIN number, so you can either send through the chat box. If there's a question, just send us the question through the chat box, and we'd be happy to answer it. Okay. All right, Shelly, I'm going to unmute your line here. Okay, Shelly, you're on.
Actually, this is Karen from Roan State. We got kicked out of our conference room, so we're now in Shelley's office. Well, we didn't make a reservation. We just assumed it was open because we were there for something else. But in addition to solidifying our team members, we've done a couple of interesting things to really get implemented on some success infrastructure things that dovetail perfectly with Achieving the Dream. We have a student success Success class that we have hired a new coordinator for that class, so we're real excited about that. She will not only be teaching but hiring and training adjuncts for that class. We are moving toward a Success Coach one-on-one advisement model for first-time students with a year of training. We've finalized that job description, submitted a job analysis questionnaire to our salary plan consultant to make sure that that aligns with our salary plan, got that back. We're just real pleased with it. It aligned just with what we thought it should be, so we'll be opening that job announcement as soon as we roll out the Achieving the Dream to our faculty at Convocation next week. One last thing, we applied for and were awarded from the Tennessee Higher Education Commission a Reconnect grant targeted toward adults, and one of the portions of that grant will be an adult advisory council. So we think that's going to be a very good way of getting feedback from our adult students about their achievement needs.
Yep, well, that's a great idea. Great. Good. Thanks for the update. Okay, so Chris, I'm going to try you again. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay,
Chris,
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, fantastic. Sorry about that. Hi, we have one other person, Katrina Vanderwood, who's the Vice President of Academic Affairs at Grossmont. We're actually participating in Achieving the Dream as a district. We have two colleges, Grossmont and Cuyamaca colleges, and then we have our district office that's participating. We have a core team at the district level, and within that core team are communication and marketing folks, and we also have a data team that's working within that core team. Each college, though, is going to be working with our coaches individually to work on projects that are specific to our colleges, but we are trying to have ultimate goals that are district-wide. The other thing that we wanted to make sure that we shared is that we have faculty got back to campus. Katrina just walked into my office. She was sitting next door. We have faculty that just got to campus, so we have a working group here at Grossmont College that's going to be meeting actually for the first time today. Our primary goal is that on September 18th we have a college-wide event. The main goal of that event is to really sort of leave that with a sense of need and urgency that we really do want to solve these issues for our students. And so we will go from there to develop one or two key things that we'll focus on as part of our Achieving the Dream project. I think that's it for us. Anything else?
I think Chris, very
Okay, great. Thanks.
for this afternoon's meeting. Go ahead.
She couldn't hear you, I think, far enough away.
Okay, great. Thanks. All right, let's see. Let me see if there's any other hands up here. Let's see. Okay. Well, I think that kind of covers the volunteers for the updates. We really appreciate you sharing out with us. I encourage you, as you're moving forward, it sounds like everyone is well underway in assembling their core teams and their data teams and planning for college-wide events to really launch Achieving the Dream on our campuses. So it's really exciting, and you know, I know you're working with your coaches on this, and if you would like to hear about how other colleges have done this and want some ideas, feel free to be in touch with us, and we're happy to connect you with other colleges to talk about how they launched ATD on their campuses as well. So. Yeah. And on ATD Connect, on those discussion boards too. That's another great place to call for help if you want to hear from your fellow colleges, or just start a discussion on some of the issues that you're encountering as you begin ATD. So I'm going to turn this over to my colleague Julia to talk about next steps and to close us out.
Thank you, Mary. So again, as you're going through and solidifying your core team, data team, and communication team members, if you have any contacts that you would like us to add to our listserv, please send them to me or Mary, and we'll get it updated in our system to make sure that everyone's receiving all the information they need. It's particularly important if you've just selected your core team or data team leaders that we have their contacts, so that going forward we can make sure they get all the critical information and updates to do with actually running the Achieving the Dream on your campus. And so you can see a couple of next steps on your screen right now. As you all know, this is really the research, planning, and engagement period of your Achieving the Dream journey. So you're all moving forward with your coaching site visit. We're asking you to use the planning period work plan as a guide for this kind of stage to help you with the planning to make sure you've covered all bases. And to help you get to the point where you can complete the implementation plan due in the spring of 2016. There are 3 other ATD webinar series that we want you to know about. They kind of go on hiatus during the summer. Obviously, a lot of colleges are off during the summer or have shorter working weeks during the summer, so we kind of have them on hiatus for them. But there's obviously this one, which is specifically for your cohort. We also have a data webinar series and a technology solutions webinar series. And so you'll be receiving alerts about new webinars that are coming up in ATD's newsletter and also individual invites as well. We'll also include these on the announcements portion of the ATD Connect tool, so keep an eye out for that. So at the moment, you're going to be researching promising practices from other Achieving the Dream institutions as well, I imagine. So if you do have questions or if there's a particular intervention or process that you're interested in and you want to learn more about, obviously your coaches are a fantastic source of that information, but you can also ask Mary and I, and we will identify other colleges that are doing that kind of work, and we can either put you in touch or we can share any resources that they have or any research on that as well. So as I said, ask us for examples, tell us topics for future webinars or which topics to build out in the ATD Connect tool. We are completely open to your specific needs. We want this to be as useful as possible for you without overloading you with information that you don't need. So as you go forward, we ask that you plan for a team to attend Dream 2016, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, from February 23rd to 26th of 2016. And so each college has 5 complimentary registrations included in their first year of Achieving the Dream. So please plan to have a team of at least 5 people from your college attend Dream 2016. It's going to be really interesting. It's focusing this year on the 7 capacity areas, so there'll be 7 strands for you to follow. So if you're particularly interested in teaching and learning, you can follow that strand throughout the institute. And so in addition to that, right now we are currently accepting proposals to present at Dream 2016. So if you do have something that you want to present and you have data to support its success, please, I think it's on the ATD Connect tool, please go to that and submit any presentations that you would like to be considered. So for now, the implementation plan is currently being redesigned from last year, so we will be sharing that with you in the coming months, and we will be conducting a webinar to give you a little bit more guidance on that in January. It will be due in spring 2016, so you don't need to panic about that just yet. Okay, so we'll move on to questions now. If anyone has any questions, please type them into the question pane or raise your hand, and we will unmute your line. Do you have any questions?
No questions right now.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay, I'll give you 20 more seconds to finish typing if you have a question, so that we don't keep you on the line, but we do answer any questions. And obviously, if you have any questions that you think of afterwards, or if you have any random comments or thoughts, we are always open to hearing them, so please email Mary and I. We will be sending a recording and the slides from this presentation to you all so that you have access to it to listen again if you really want to, or to review the slides again. And our contact information is included in the slides after this slide here. So, okay.
Let's see. You know, we did, Alan, if you're still on from Coastal Pines, if you, I know you indicated that you have an update for Coastal Pines. If you put your PIN number in, I'll be able to unmute your line so you can provide an update.
Okay, so I think we will let you all go now. So thank you for joining us today. I think we're 4 minutes early, so you may go and you may enjoy your 4 minutes before you have to get back to work. But thank you again. We will be in contact with you about the next webinar if it will be held, and with anything else, any other updates that will be coming through ATD Connect or our newsletter. So keep in touch with us. We're really eager to hear what's going on at your college. And if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to Mary and I at any point in time via email or phone. Thank you again. Have a good day.